and Greg just has to try and make a computer game sound with his mouth, and you have to guess what it is.
There's some quirky merit to that idea.
I was actually thinking about this like about an hour ago. No shit. I was actually thinking we could pair up in the teams, and two people have to make sounds. They have like a list of sounds, and the other person in their team has to guess it. And whichever team guesses the most wins the round.
This is kind of like charades for like an audio version.
Yeah, exactly.
Energy program. Super monkey robot. 3, 2, 1. Let's go!
This is episode 200, and today is Monday the 5th of February 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host Lucas, and here with me is my co-host and very good friend Snoogs. How are you, mate?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Well, you can rumble if you like, but I just want to do a podcast.
200!
Yes, big 200, man!
Excited?
I'm very excited, and I'm very happy to be back. It's been a massive break. We've had a few complaints over the time off.
How good feeling is that?
Oh, it
People
is.
have been asking, where are we?
Oh no, when's the show coming back?
Yes.
We even had Cleno ask, and he said, what did he say? I hope this isn't too strange, but I've missed you guys.
Yeah.
Aw,
That's right in the feels.
He's right in the swills. Now, look, coming back for episode 200, there's not the only big thing that's occurring. Being the first show of 2018, we've got some big things to announce, and I'm going to lead into now. One of the first things that I'm going to announce is that it is my pleasure to announce a new co-host to the podcast. So let's hear it for Ramutha. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Well, lovely. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. Now, it's not the first time you've been on the podcast, but you are no longer a special guest. You are a co-host now.
I'm part of the furniture.
You are. But, yeah, so really happy to have you on board. We're going to have an awesome year ahead of us. But wait, there's more. It is also my pleasure to announce another co-host. Greggio, my friend, how are you?
I am very well.
Awesome.
And very pleased to be here.
Yes, that's great. Welcome to the show. Welcome to your first episode as a co-host. Once again, not a special guest anymore. You've been on the podcast before. But now you are also part of the furniture.
One of us.
I'm one of the pod people.
That's it. So look, that's some big things for the Age podcast for 2018. First up, bam, that's what we're getting straight into the year with some big stuff there. Also, in this episode though, you don't do an episode 200, a milestone like this, without celebrating it some way big. And we've got some big giveaways to mention during this show. What is that?
That was me.
Was that
drum rolling?
Was that a drum roll?
Yeah, it was.
What'd you use as a drum? Your
Stomach.
forehead.
Literally my chest, right?
Well, it saves me mucking around in post. I guess that'll do.
There you go.
You're already
I've paid for
earning.
myself already.
That's right. You're already earning your paycheck. I'm going to double you. I'm going to double what I'm paying you.
Nice.
So yes, later on the show we will be mentioning some big giveaways. And when I say big, I did some rough calculations, and by rough calculations I went, I reckon all of that stuff's worth about that. I didn't actually look into how much it was, but I said about $800, if not more. Is that
That's fair, I think. Yeah.
close to what everything tallied up together would be? I think so. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Totally.
big giveaways.
Works for me.
We'll let you know a little bit later in the show, just for a little bit of suspense, I guess, and to draw it out and make you listen to the show, I guess. Marketing 101. And we'll also let you know how you can enter. But in saying that, you could probably cheat and just look at the podcast description, which is going to give everything away anyway. Oh, well, whatever.
Shh, don't tell them that.
You know what?
Cut it
You
out.
could actually say it's worth 87,870 yen. That sounds pretty good.
It does sound good. I like that. A
you
shit
go.
ton of yen. Right.
Cool.
Well, anyway, let's move on. So what we're going to do this week, it's going to be a little bit different to our usual program that we do. We will get back to that next week, but this week basically it's going to be one big massive video game discussion where we've got topics that we've thought of and want to discuss or argue, whichever sort of takes off there. And also from our community who have sent us in suggestions on what we can do for episode 200. Big shout out to Rusky Big Muskie because he sent us an email with a lot of suggestions there, which I've grabbed a lot of cool stuff from to put this episode together. So let's go into video game discussion. All right. Well, I guess I'll kick it off and see if we can get us all warmed up and start talking about things. It was late last year, Snoogs, you were talking about playing Battlefront 2 and the campaign. You didn't really pay too much attention to the multiplayer stuff, considering all the crappy controversy and all that.
Reviews up on YouTube, by the way. Yep.
Yes, go check out the review on the Aussie Gamers Express YouTube channel.
But you finally got through it, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I played it. And I played it through a couple of sittings. I streamed it all, and it was very underwhelming. That's my end result with it. The story is probably the best part about it. It is very interesting. It is woven into the Star Wars story really well, and the graphics are, oh my god, so good. I played it on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it looks beautiful. There's hardly anything to fault with it, and the performance was good, but the gameplay was just humdrum, mundane, boring. Like it was
kind of like just a walkthrough, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Well, it was just the same thing over and over and over again. You'll do first-person shooter, so you run around, or third-person, however you choose to play it. Then you might do like a space battle thing in an X-Wing or a TIE fighter or whatever. Then you'll go back to first person. Then something epic will happen and you'll get put into an AT-AT or an AT-ST. And you're like, wow, I'm in a walker. How cool is it? No, it's not really. I don't really have very much control. All I'm doing is pointing the header of the thing and just holding down the shoot button.
Yes, and taking 7 hours to get through to the next bit.
Yeah, and guess what's next? Back to the first-person shooter part. The missions felt like... Look, the whole game just felt like they've gone, oh, everyone bloody complained that they wanted a campaign. Here, have a bloody campaign.
Here, bunch of babies. Take your campaign.
Yeah.
Stop your engine, take it on. Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't put any effort into it because you can tell that and I'm not blaming the developer. Was it DICE? Is that who made it?
Yes.
Look, I don't put all the blame on them. I would imagine that they're probably told what they need to make. And the focus was clearly on the microtransactions in multiplayer, because the multiplayer is probably what makes them it is what makes their money. And they've put in a quick thrown together campaign to satisfy those that complained about the first one not having a campaign. And that seems like all it was. Weird. Very weird.
What did you think of the story, though? Like, if you take into account some of the stuff from the current trilogy that we're going through with The Last Jedi, how did you think the story sort of fit into the universe?
Well, because it's a story that could be told in an hour and a half, 2 hour movie, it was very long and drawn out. But if that was condensed into a movie, I think it would actually work really well. It seemed to fit really well with the new movies. It had a very not Last Jedi. What was the one before that?
Force Awakens.
No, like the in the middle one.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. It had a very Rogue One feeling about it, where it was, it's not part of the main storyline, but it fits in there, and it's definitely in the same world, and a lot of the factors from the main storyline play into it, which I really liked, because there was a lot of things like, oh, okay, I can see what they're doing there, and oh yeah, this and that, and I like that. But it was like if you get, it's watered down is what I want to say. You got a nice, beautiful cordial, and you try to share it with all your friends and fill it up with water. All you get is 1,000 cups of disgusting tasting shit. That was a weird.
Yeah, but it kind of works.
Does it make sense though?
Yeah, it kind of works into it.
Yeah.
I overread the story. I went into like fandom
right.
range with, well, what does this mean? Does it tie into The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi? Is the main character Rey's mother? Like all these sorts of questions and this whole fandom thing around it, and that's where I think just having that sort of side of what if, that's where it made it a little bit better for me. But yeah, it was only 4 hours long, 4 and a bit.
Yeah, I can't
Something
remember
like
how
that.
long it took me, look, there's one thing about it. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was one thing in there that I don't know why I paid attention to it, but I did. And there's a part where Luke Skywalker is in this I don't know, it's like a cave sort of thing where things have been
Creatures come out of the
stored.
walls, yeah.
That area, yeah, but there's a part where there's a cutscene, and you're with this guy that you've just saved his life or whatever, but he's an Imperial dude.
True. Yep.
And Luke Skywalker picks up, which I think he says it's a compass.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, can I have this? And the guy says to him, my mission is to come here and destroy all of this stuff. What makes you think that I'm going to let you take something from here? And he says, because I asked. Which is like a playback to what he said earlier, another thing, blah, blah, blah.
Why did you help me? Because you asked. Yeah.
Yeah, that part. And so he allows him to take this compass. And I'm thinking, I wonder what significance this compass has. Nothing. It's never mentioned ever again. He just wanted a trinket.
No, it's not. It's not mentioned in the game ever again. In the Star Wars world, it's actually got quite a big significance.
Oh, does it? Okay, I'm just not a big
massive.
enough Star Wars nerd, I guess.
They'll bring it up in Battlefront 3, so you have to spend another $90 to find out what the compass is.
Yeah, it'll be part of the DLC pack.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Mr. Skywalker here is just turning this cave into his own little op shop. He's like, I'm going to have that.
I wants the shiny.
Battlefield
Yeah.
the merchandise.
Yogurt.
Yeah.
Spaceballs reference for those that don't know.
Seriously, I think that's what EA did. We're making a Star Wars game. Let's get some inspiration. Let's watch that scene from Spaceballs where he's like merchandising everything.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not rubbish. It's totally playable. It looks great. It plays okay. The story's pretty strong. It's not too bad. But the gameplay is just very, like, halfway through the thing, I was like, oh, Snoog said this game was short. God, I'm glad it's short. Because it was a drag. I was bored. Like, with the actual gameplay, it just felt like rinse and repeat. There was like 3 different scenarios that would be played out, and you just repeated them for hours. So that was the disappointing realisation. We play in Battlefront 2's campaign. And I took absolute pride in myself to finish the campaign, remove the disc, and never once attempted to play the multiplayer.
I'm in the same boat there. I never tried the multiplayer.
Yeah, no, thank you. I tried the multiplayer stuff during the beta, and that was enough of an experience for me. No, thank you. Yes, but anyway, that was my experience with that. Does anybody else want to jump in with any topics that they want to talk about? Oh, let's talk about coughing.
Yeah, let's.
If you want another minute to think about it, I can pick from my list and go with something else if you like.
Well, I was wanting to bring up. So everyone's obviously heard about Epic shutting down Paragon with the success of Fortnite.
Yes.
I was just wanting to bring it up for a quick discussion to see what you guys thought of that.
Well,
Have you played Paragon?
End
a
of,
reason they're shutting
end of
it down.
discussion.
End of discussion, right?
that's
okay.
it. It's done.
And I mean, I just find it really interesting that Fortnite's seen such success, especially off the Battle Royale, which is such a small part of the game, that they've made so much money off it that they've just gone, yeah, stuff it. We don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, that's the thing though. Like if you're splitting your attention in a few different ways, it's kind of like a bit of a shotgun effect there, where you'll just throw all your ideas out there, and if one catches, well, you're going to go and put more effort into that, because putting effort into the other ones that aren't really doing too well is kind of wasted time and money. So
For sure.
In all honesty, I'll give you my idea on Fortnite. So I've only played the Battle Royale stuff, but the amount of fun that I have with the Battle Royale, I'm tempted. I won't buy it because I'm a tight ass, but I am actually tempted. I am tempted to
try
spend
the other
money
stuff.
to get the early access for the rest of it. Yeah,
me too.
The premise of it, and we saw the early access for Fortnite come out, 12, 18 months ago? And just the idea of the PvE, you're building a shelter to stop the influx of the enemies and to keep you out of this storm that's forming. It's actually got a really good premise, and I think a lot of people that are seeing just how good the mechanic of the Battle Royale is are actually starting to buy those packs.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
go across and get into it. So, by all means, if it's Paragon, I played it a couple of times. It wasn't really for me. It didn't feel right. But Fortnite feels right. So if they're going to put more time and effort into that, then that's where they're going to make their money.
Well, I really like Fortnite's controls and the layout. I would really like to play the Horde stuff, the Save the World mode, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But you fall into that trap of, well, it's going to be a free to play game, and the only option I've got to get into this closed beta is to spend like $60.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I like the mode.
If it was $30, I'd buy it.
Well, it goes on special every now and then, and sometimes it is like $25. And I've been tempted a couple of times, but I'm too busy with other things, and I don't know anybody else personally that has it. So I don't really want to go in there on my own, because it's an online game. It's something you want to play with your mates.
Yeah, exactly. But just it feels good. It's always a lot of fun. Even squatting up on your own. You've got the voice chat on. I've had a ball with it. So yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, well, I think they're doing the right thing by... Look, I don't know about... Are they going to remove Paragon or just not work on it anymore?
Yeah, it's
They're
gone.
shutting it down.
They're shutting it down. Look, I don't care. I'm sure there are people out there that do care, but I think as a business decision, I think it's the right thing to do for them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anyone that spent a cent on Paragon is actually getting their money back as well.
They are, yeah. They're doing a full refund.
How do they do that? Like, do they, from all time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do they give the money back? Haven't they spent that on developing the thing?
Probably.
That's how much money they're making off Fortnite.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
They can afford to just throw it back.
But how do you... Like, I don't know, how long... I suppose... There's not really a limit that you can put on stuff that they've purchased, I guess, is there? Like, if they've been playing it for 2 years, have they got their money's worth? But then I suppose when they bought it, there's no explanation that it's only going to be good for 2 years. So I suppose...
Well, it's only cosmetic stuff as well.
Yeah, some people would have spent hundreds, and they're just going to get all that back. It's like a forced savings account.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know the legalities behind it, but
all these people that have spent a fortune on it and got shits with the games now going, oh yes, thank you.
Beautiful, I love you guys, and then they go
but
give it all back
it's a
in
smart decision
Fortnite
too, because the money they get back from that these people are liable to go and spend it on Fortnite.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And we got our veal schnitzel dinner.
Yes, we did. Yes, Snoogs and I with a couple of randoms got a win. How good was that?
Yep. Yeah. We got carried all the way to the end.
Well, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, we
did all right.
okay. We did. We were still alive.
I got 4 kills, I think,
Did you?
in that game. Yeah, 4 or 5 kills. I think you got a couple as well.
I can't. I don't remember.
Who cares? You got 100. There you go.
I may have been inebriated.
I may have taken out the server.
Yeah, we just conquered. It was the whole server versus our team, and we won. And we still had 3 standing, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It was one of our randoms that died. Probably our fault, but anyway.
No, it was his fault. He ran off.
Yep, I agree. Twisted my arm with that one.
Yeah. Well, sticking on multiplayer games,
Yeah.
what about some Friday the 13th?
Ah,
Yes, we did play that. We had a good stream of that. That was good fun.
so good.
Yes, so much fun.
Yeah, I didn't realise that game was as good as it was.
Well worth it. What was it, $14 or something? $14.95?
Yeah, it was on special for cheap, eh?
Yeah. Well
It was
worth it.
16.
Already got our coin worth out of it.
Yeah,
And
but
then some. And then some. It's so much fun.
it seemed all right. Like, I mean, Jason is very OP, but he's beatable. But
Yeah, but that's because it's Jason. Jason's always OP.
yeah, but what I mean is, you know, there's a lot of these asynchronous games where it's 1 versus a team of 4, and sometimes the one has so much power that they're almost impossible to beat. I can't think of there is a game that I saw.
Evolve.
I don't know enough about Evolve, but I saw something. There was a game in the news recently where people were complaining, saying that the one was too powerful. I'm not sure, but with Friday the 13th, like with the games we were playing, like Jason was winning, Jason was losing. It was actually pretty good. I thought the balance was actually really good.
I think the big thing is that you don't need to kill him to win.
No, that's right. You just need to escape.
You can escape. You can get the cops to come in. You can get, what's his name, Brian Boy Dano, or whatever comes on in with his shotgun.
Rifle. Yeah. Well, that's it. And I like that. There's multiple different ways to get out too, because you can even fix a boat or something, can't you? Which I don't think we ever did.
I fixed a boat in one time, and then I got a trophy because there was lots of people still alive, but I was driving off into the lake
On your own.
Screwed him. Yeah.
Bye.
Essentially,
as someone's getting gutted on the beach. Bye.
Essentially, that's what we're screaming at the TV when we're watching the movies. Just go! Don't worry about them. Run! You can do it yourself.
Don't! He's already dead.
Yeah, that's a great game. Yeah, love
Yeah,
that.
that's a game that Snoogs is just a little bit too good at playing as Jason.
Oh, yeah, because he's a liar.
Oh,
I watched back. See, I didn't realise live while we were playing. There was a whole match there where you pretended that you were one of us, and you were actually Jason the whole time.
I'm feeding him information.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, and you were so cool about it. Because I didn't even notice while we were playing. It was only when I did the stream edit later, I'm like, hang on a minute.
That's why we lost so badly.
Because we're in the same chat, we're telling him, I'm like, Snoogs, I'm over here near the car I'm getting this, I've nearly got this sorted. And I'm like, dude, Jason turns up. How the fuck did he find me?
Jason pops up behind you.
Because
That was a good
Jason
round
was
too. I
you.
got 6 kills.
Oh dear. But yeah, you did really well with that, you cheeky bastard. But very good game. We will have to return to that.
Absolutely.
All right. What about you, Greg? Have you got anything?
Not off the top of my head, to be honest.
That's all right. I've got plenty.
I've seen the list of what you got coming, so I'm kind of happy with that. So.
Well, the next one I want to mention is YouTube. I want to talk about YouTube. Now, going back to, I think it was November, I think I've explained this before, maybe on the last couple of podcasts, but I disconnected from our YouTube partner, which you're well within your rights to do. A YouTube partner generally assists with advertising and gives you access to a couple of tools to make your videos look better and just some tools and all that. But the thing is, they were taking 40%? Yeah, they were taking 40% of the revenue.
Yeah.
We were starting to get some traction and doing really well, and I thought, you know what, giving them 40% of all of the revenue that we earn is starting to seem a little bit steep for what we're getting in return. So I decided to end the contract with them. It was a 12-month contract. We were with them for 2 years, so I disconnected. On disconnecting with them, there's a bug in YouTube which then demonetized the account, and then when I clicked monetize again, it would just crash the website. Which means
a team of highly trained monkeys were coming to rescue you.
Yeah, that one. Which they're still not really to the rescue. So anyway, for a good month went by, nothing happened. I couldn't monetize the account, so there was all of that month's revenue gone. Month and a half went, 2 months went. Finally, the crashing issue disappeared just randomly. I was able to hit monetize again. Then it told me, and it's not an error this time, but it come up with a thing saying that right now you've clicked the monetize button, you need to be reviewed. So they need to check our account to make sure it's in good standing, it meets all of YouTube's policies, and then they'll allow monetization. Now, we've been monetized with them for I don't know, close to 10 years, if not more. I'm pretty sure we meet those standards. But anyway, waiting for that. It said that it should be processed by late January. Well, it's early. We're early February now, and it still hasn't been. So since November, we've been earning no revenue from YouTube like we would normally. All of that money from YouTube usually goes back into advertising for our stuff, as well as paying for the website, paying for the hosting for the podcast, all that sort of stuff. All of our revenue is gone. So I can't really count on that anymore. I did start up late last year or early this year a new YouTube account with the hopes that I could get that one monetized in the meantime. However, then they moved the goalposts. Do you remember hearing about that?
Yeah.
Didn't they? What?
Yeah, so instead of needing 10,000 views only, now you need 1,000 subscribers and, what was it, 4,000 hours
watch hours or something, yeah,
of watch time in the last 12 months. So essentially the new account that I just made up, not knowing about this new change, well, it just seems like a far cry from getting that one up and running to earn some revenue, which I guess is probably a blessing in disguise, because then I've got, you know what? Forget YouTube. Now we're still going to be keeping the YouTube channel. It's not going to be discarded. It's been there too long and it's got too much content on there. But it made me think, you know what? I'm going to go across to Twitch. I'm going to give Twitch a red hot go. We're already affiliated with the Twitch account there because we had. I think you've only got to have 50 followers. Is that right?
Yeah, 50 followers, and then a couple of other little bits and pieces you've got to hit.
Yeah, and the AussieGamersTV Twitch account has already hit all that, and all the paperwork's all done. We're affiliated. So you know what? We'll go over across there, and I'll start pushing that, and it's going really well. I've had I don't even know how many new followers. Like in the last 2 weeks, people are jumping on board. People are subscribing to Aussie Gamers TV. People are watching, commenting. I'm giving away free games during all of my streams. I've got a point system, so during the stream while you're watching, you are accumulating points. And at first we're like, what are these points for? Like, I don't know, it's just for, you got points, yay. I've worked out what I'm going to do is at a random time throughout my streams, I'm going to pick whoever's in the stream watching and active, whoever's got the highest points is going to get a free game. So it's given a little bit back, and all that stuff is going to be made possible by the monetization that comes, like the revenue that comes from Twitch, because people are subscribing, people are giving me tips like the bits. You know, that all adds up, and I'm going to be giving it all back, really, which is really cool. So if you're listening to this and you haven't gone across to Aussie Gamers TV, go across there. There's also another perk that I've just put into place recently, where all subscribers, so if you sub to Aussie Gamers TV, you will automatically be given access to listen to this podcast as we're recording it through Discord. So all you need to do is sub to Aussie Gamers TV, connect to our Discord channel, and you'll have access to this server, and you'll be able to listen to us live. And then after the podcast, we'll spend 10-15 minutes having a chat where you guys will be able to talk to us. Cool stuff like that is happening in 2018. Beautiful.
Pretty sweet.
And you guys have got Twitch channels as well. Tell us about those. Whoever wants to go first.
Me? Why not? Because I'm here. All right. So I've kicked off mine, which is good old Snoogavision, and slowly starting to build up the followers. I stream pretty much most nights of the week when I get on, and if I'm playing, I'm pretty much streaming, and it's going along. I've got 8 more followers to go. No, 7. I picked up another one last night.
Oh, did you?
Nice.
To get to affiliate. So
let's get Snoogavision affiliated with Twitch, because then you can get subs and all that sort of stuff, and it'll just make Age so much better. So go across Snoogavision on Twitch. The links are all going to be in the podcast description.
Yes. So what about you, Rem?
Yeah, I've been streaming to Mixer for a little while, but yeah, just recently, now that I have a PlayStation, I started streaming across on Twitch as well, which is great because I can also link up with you guys. And I've had a YouTube channel going for a little while as well, very basic, just pre-recordeds of everything if you've missed anything. So yeah, absolutely head across there. It's just Remuther on Mixer or Remuther GT on Twitch.
Oh, wonderful. I'll be popping all that stuff in the description. So if you want to go and sub to those or follow those guys until they can get subs, do so to help us out. These are little things that everyone can do to help us out. It doesn't cost a cent. It's just hit follow. We love it.
Come and say good day. If you enjoy interacting with someone as they're playing or doing whatever, or if you're looking for someone to actually play with, come across. I've picked up a few people that I play the Division with just via streaming. They'll be watching and say, "Dude, can I jump in for a little while?" And it's great fun.
Awesome.
So
yeah. Absolutely. And support your small streamers. We don't have thousands of people watching us, so if you talk to us in the chat, we're going to talk back to you, because there's not a billion comments flowing past. We can actually catch up and read them and talk to you. That's what I like. If I go into a stream to watch a stream and I see that there's thousands of people watching, I generally don't want to watch that one. I want to go into the ones that I can interact with. So I'll find someone with 10 or 15 people, because they're gonna read my messages and talk to me. So that's what I like about small time streamers.
That's it.
And you can watch someone like me swear at Batman, because I was talking back to the stream last night, and Mr. Q in the Telltale game, so Catwoman doesn't like me anymore.
She's a cow anyway.
Yeah.
There you go, Snoog's little fantasy out the window.
Oh no, I got that part. This was after.
All right.
So my fantasy's done, mate. I don't have to call it back.
You're just like, yeah, you're done. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
Oh, spoiler
you're
alert!
upset
Did
with
you?
me? See ya.
Does Batman shag Catwoman?
The
Batcat.
Fantasy, so it's creepy.
It was a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
No, you just got to sit there and watch it lick herself for 5 minutes.
Oh.
Moving on.
Yes, let's move on. All right, let's delve into a little bit of old news that was while we were off. I want to get your opinions on the Nintendo Labo, or is it Labo, or
Labo?
Labia?
Don't know.
It should be Garbo.
Nintendo is selling us cardboard.
Oh, mate. This is on the level of the Kardashians, this shit. Making stupid
It's
people
arse, isn't
famous.
it? I'm telling you, right?
Just what, like, I kind of get it. I understand it's a cool little thing, but the amount of money they're asking for.
It's expensive. Because how long
It's
is one of those
stupid
cardboard
expensive.
things going to last before it's worn out?
In my household, about 3 minutes when the kids get a hold of it.
That's the thing I don't like about it. Like, it's not durable at all. Like, yeah, it's great. You can probably make your own, but it's going to be rubbish compared to the laser cut stuff, which is just cardboard, so it's going to break. It's going to get crushed.
I just had a concept. Like, I've got a laser cutter at work. I can make all this stuff out of polycarbonate. Yeah.
Ooh, eBay
I
store.
now just started up a business.
Yep.
Yeah,
Labo,
eBay
polycarbonate
business.
Labo. Done.
And just another thing as well. What I don't know what goes on.
Reggie, I won't be on here soon because you'll be a millionaire.
Or he'll be broke
Instead of
because he'll get sued.
$110, he'll be paying. You'll sell them for 90.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But like what? I don't know what Nintendo is on. But what the hell is a Labo?
I don't know.
Surely it stands for something.
When I first saw it, I thought it was like another episode of Nintendogs coming.
Oh.
And I was like, great.
I don't know. Look, I think it's good.
Someone
But
at Nintendo is sitting back laughing at that name because they know what it means, but no one else does.
Or they're sitting back going, ha 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 ha, stupid consumer. They're going to buy cardboard from us. It's too
Is the
expensive.
cardboard even recycled? Come on, think about it. The environment.
It's overpriced.
Look, this is not the first time that people have tried to flog off cardboard for a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, look at the box companies.
Well, there's box companies. Remember back right in the early days of eBay, there was that dude that tried to sell a piece of cardboard, like literally sold it as like the latest, greatest in cardboard technology, had like great tensile strength and all this jazz. Ended up like selling this. It's just a piece of corrugated cardboard for like a ridiculous amount of money.
Do you remember the guy who did a Kickstarter for a bowl of mashed potatoes? Or potato
Look,
salad?
Nintendo isn't that far away from the rest of us. They're just trying to make a buck out of the piece of crap that we got lying around in their backyard.
Yeah, look, I won't get into Labo, but I'm really interested to see how it goes. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm into.
I say we remove the warning labels and just let everything work itself out.
Yeah.
Oh, but Snoogs, I'll miss you though.
Nice.
All right. Well, anyway, I guess that's our thoughts on that. Yeah, going well. Good on you, Nintendo. But they got the Switch though. The Switch is amazing. I'm really enjoying it. PlayStation thought, hold my beer. I'm not going to be outdone with stupid products, so I'm going to release some shoes. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, look, I mean, it's not a game gimmick. It's just a product that's, I guess, what is it like? Themed? PlayStation themed shoe?
It's corporate branding. It seems to be a thing.
Isn't it with someone like some basketball player
Yeah.
wearing these shoes? Or
Yeah,
really, they're just like Air Jordans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
yeah, but Jordan plays basketball.
Yes.
Well, you can play basketball on a PlayStation.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It's corporate partnerships. They're kind of the big thing in the moment.
Yeah,
Look at the ad for Continental Tires with Real Madrid. It's a soccer team, for Pete's sake. They don't drive cars, but they have a corporate partnership with Continental Tires, and they make an ad, and literally it's just a bunch of dudes playing soccer, nothing to do with car tires. It's literally this is the thing. Corporate partnerships are these big entities, lots of money, breeding with other lots of money, making more money.
Do you
and
think?
this is just a very physical and in-your-face, ugly outcome of those corporate partnerships.
Do you think maybe
between-
we should do a like a corporate partnership with Maggi Noodles?
That could totally work, and we could all just sit here and eat Maggi noodles while we're doing the podcast.
I'd happily do that.
I'd do that.
Yeah,
We
for
could have
sure.
like age game-affiliated noodle flavors,
Oh yeah,
like Yoshi flavored.
Ooh, what would that taste like?
Tastes like chicken, but with green food dye.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah,
is
so-
technically Maggi chicken noodles anyway.
Anyway, the PlayStation shoe collaboration was with NBA star Paul George. Now, I personally haven't heard of him before, but no doubt he's a big star. But the shoe itself, have you guys seen the shoe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I think it looks crap.
It's not the worst one around. I
It's
think I
not.
proved that point to you.
No,
yeah. To be fair, when you start looking at Nike and the shoes they make for people, this is actually on a pretty turned down level compared
Yeah.
yeah, it's not terrible,
to some of the
but I don't like it.
abominations that come out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there
I
are
agree
some
with that.
ugly NBA shoes out there.
Oh, get lost. I didn't notice this part. The back heel of the left shoe has a unique barcode that contains a PSN voucher code, which can be redeemed at the PlayStation Store for a Paul George dynamic theme.
Wow. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
get on top of that before someone
That's
stole
me
it off you.
sold.
Because when you spend that much money on a pair of shoes, you really want PSN.
Well, how much were they? I didn't see the price. They're probably expensive.
Yeah, they're always
I'm
several
going with
$100s.
Yeah.
Look,
well,
I'm just going to put it out there. Which is worse, this shoe or the Xbox onesie?
The shoe.
the shoe. I thought the onesie was cool.
So there you go.
I disagree with the colour of the onesie. Because I saw a guy wearing the onesie last year at the Microsoft store who told me that he got that onesie the previous year at the Xbox, what was it called? That thing we went to, Snoogs?
That thing.
Yeah, it's some festival, something festival. So it was about 12 months old, and it was, if you don't know, the onesies are white, and it looked like he hadn't washed it in 12 months, but wore it every day.
Probably hadn't.
Probably not.
I think it was a tinge of orange from him getting caught in the rain and all of the Doritos stains running through the thing, and it looked festy. And mind you, the day that I saw him this 12 months later, he was wearing a onesie in late 20 degrees Celsius temperatures. It wasn't cold, and he was wearing it. I kept my distance for the sake of my poor nostrils.
They told him he could wear it and live in it, and he took it literally. That's it.
Absolutely he did.
It's like a walking staph infection.
Fanfest. The Fanfest. That's what it was called.
Oh dear.
Yum.
All right, we'll move on from the shoes and the Labo. Let's move on to one from Rusky Big Muskie. He's asked us about how we feel about going all digital. All right, so as when we were younger, everything was physical. You go into the shop and you buy your game, and you come home, you put it in, and you play it. It then slowly turned into you go into the store, buy your game, take it home, download an update, you play your game. Now it's starting to get to the point where you don't even need to go into the store at all for any game because all of them are digital. You can just buy them online. They're all very expensive compared to generally when you go into, say, JB Hi-Fi. Here you can go and get a game for maybe $79 on day one, whereas on the online stores, whether it be Xbox or PlayStation or even PC, they're going to be about $100, which is retail for Australia. Now, we good?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, something sounded like it was playing up.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah,
something
something
wild.
funny there.
all good. We're all sounding good. But the issue that's brought forward is that there are a lot of arguments for saying that if you're buying all of your games digitally, you never really own anything. So, what do you guys think?
So, here's where I'm at.
Deep breath.
It's just following a trend that we're already used to with our music. It's the same as iTunes. It's the same with movies. It's just how we're consuming media. Now, there are some downsides to it, especially with gaming. The fact you're getting to the point where you might as well buy it on day one if you're buying it digital, because, to be fair, unless you get like a Black Friday sale or something like that, it's going to be the same price today as it is in 12 months' time. As opposed to when you go to JB, you can buy a second-hand copy, or you can buy a cheap version where they're just trying to get it off the shelf.
Yeah, it's very true.
You're gonna lose that. Like I said, they counteract it, but it's not as in depth. It's not always there like it is with JB. But I guess the other thing for them is they're trying to get away from that, because they don't make any money off those second-hand sales. They don't make any money off those kind of late buys, where they will always make the maximum amount of money off their games for eternity, kind of thing.
For digital.
Yeah, for digital, they will always drive the price. Yeah. As opposed to retailers who have ebb and flows in sale and try and meet demand and then have to excess stock and all that jazz. There is one good thing. Capcom will leave their games on the shelf longer. Capcom have already had a sales marketing strategy for quite some time now, where they only leave their games on the shelf for X amount of time, and as soon as sales start to drop off, they tend to stop supplying. They stop supplying the game. And so it creates this false sense of urgency, like you need to get in and buy the game within the first couple of months when it's at its maximum value, or hope that somewhere down the line someone's going to want to sell the game secondhand. So they already created a market strategy to get around that. Not everyone has jumped on board with that, but this is a way where the producers of the game can make the most amount of money for the maximum amount of time. And to be fair, we're getting lazy and we're used to it. We're used to being able to just buy stuff whenever we want it, sitting on our couch, talking to our friends online. They're going, "Hey, this game's amazing," and I'm just like, "All right, I've got to go get this game now." You know?
Yeah. And it's never sold out.
It's not like... Yeah.
Does it bother you that you don't have a physical display or anything that you can hand on to your children later, or trade or something like that?
I'm a bit different. For a new release game, I like to go and pick one up.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go and get the physical copy of it. Solely because, you know, it's something that's brand new. It's there. It gives me that sense of ownership because I've gone and got it. But older games, I'm finding myself more and more going digital on just about anything. For instance, you know, Rainbow Six Siege, I've got digital because it was on sale. Friday the 13th, that was digital as well. And a few of the other ones that I've got, they're always a digital purchase, and especially the VR stuff now. You don't find a lot of VR stuff in stores. It's only really on the PlayStation Digital Store. So once it gets past that first few weeks, and it's sort of the hype for it dies down, you know, a sale comes up, something like that, that's when I'll pick it up digitally. But yeah, day one, 9 times out of 10, I'll be grabbing a physical copy of it.
See, I think that it's a valid thing to bring up, that there can be issues with the fact that you don't own anything, because I'm doing some live streaming, which seemed to be really popular. I did a live stream of Black, the PS2 game, and there was no issues with me plugging in my PlayStation 2 and putting the disc in and playing it. Now, the PlayStation 2 came out, when was that? 2000? 2001?
2001.
Now, that's getting on now. That's old. The problem is, given that same amount of time, you know, nearly 20 years later, are we still going to be able to plug in the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and download our digital games, are they still going to be hosted somewhere?
I think. Well, I can't say anything for PlayStation, but I guess what I can say for Xbox is they're already creating a scenario where it doesn't matter anymore. You've got backwards compatible games all the way back to Xbox, original Xbox now. So they're just creating a content, and you have an Xbox Live account that spans across multiple platforms. So I'm going. While I can't say with any real certainty, but I can say the future and the way it looks like it's being created is that even when the next Xbox comes along, it'll be a case of all that stuff carries along with your account, and you just become a digital. Everything becomes a digital representation of your library. And to be fair, for us, we're probably showing a bit of our age here by wanting physical copies. I know I talk to younger people, and they don't care because this is the world they've grown up in. They've never owned physical copies of music. They've never owned physical copies of movies. They've never owned physical copies of games. It doesn't faze them.
Does it become a problem with something like debt management, do you think, as well? Because you're not actually handing over cash to get a product. You're just typing numbers into a computer, so it's not. It doesn't have that same feeling for a lot of people.
Maybe, but you could argue that that was still a problem when you had cash. There were still people that would fork out all their money because they're addicted to playing the game. Like it's just money management is a completely separate issue. If you're predispositioned to spend all your hard-earned cash on something, it's probably just because it's digital might make it easier, but it's not really the core of the issue. The core of the issue is you have no self-control over spending your cash. It's just that these things make it easier to do.
What about the issue? I think that we brought it up while all four of us, when we were in the Gold Coast. Did I read it to myself, or were we discussing it? We were all talking about the legalities of transferring an online account when you die.
No, I'm going to suggest you're reading it.
I must have just been reading it myself or whatever. But there's something. What I was reading or whatever it was based on a Steam account, and in the clauses there, like the fine print, it says that you're not allowed to sell, give away, or transfer in any form your Steam account. And the argument is, well, these are something that I've purchased. I own. Do you own them? I don't know. That's arguable. But I have the rights to use them. Well, when I die, I can no longer use them. Is what I've spent throughout my lifetime then just forfeited? Or am I illegally allowed? Like, everyone's going to do it anyway. It's a bit of a sort of a loophole there that they can't really do much about. Leave my passwords to my children. But is there a legal issue there? Can they really step up and say, no, you're not allowed to use that account because the owner is deceased? Do you own enough of that to pass that on to other people if you die?
Look, I guess you won't know until it's actually tested, like someone actually puts it to the test.
Well, with Steam, the answer is no. You're not allowed to. It doesn't mean you can't, because they're not really going to see who's logging in.
Yep.
But the terms and conditions say you can't. Yep. I don't think there's any precedence yet with case law or what have you on. Yep. I don't think it's been tested. But that's the thing, though. Like you don't own anything.
It'll be one of those things that is going to be very ambiguous until someone actually tests it.
Exactly.
Someone actually goes and says, well, this person has spent all that money in their will. They've left all of their catalogue of games to so-and-so. So now someone has to prove that it's not allowed, or that it's not, once that happens, then someone like Steam has to come out and go, well, no, anything you buy you don't own. And as soon as they say that, people will start walking away.
Yes and no. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. At the moment, it's very ambiguous about ownership when it comes to digital content. With music, it's more about leasing it, and to be fair, the models like iTunes are starting to get, and don't quote me on the fact that I'm about to say iTunes is being replaced. Did I just drop out there?
No,
I'm good.
You're good.
Back.
All right, sorry, just went quiet. I'm not saying iTunes is being replaced. It's strong, it's well, all that, but it's being there are other options now like Spotify where you literally are just leasing music,
Yes.
right? And look, I think the future is going that direction. Gamer Pass, you're leasing games.
Yep.
PSN will probably come out with their own version if they haven't already. I'm not strong on that, but EA is doing that. You've got the EA Game Pass thing where you can go, you've literally leased a catalog of EA games. I think that's literally where we're going to end up. There's this ambiguous bit at the moment where is it buying, is it owning, is it leasing, is it whatever? It's going to go full-blown lease.
Yeah.
And you won't own any games. You'll just pay a subscription fee to play games. And you'll be able to play whatever comes out on the market.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it's sad that the day is gone that, I've got a bunch of games on my shelf and, I can hand them down to my children, and in 20, 30, 40 years' time, you can blow the dust off them and put them in and have a game. I think the grim reality of today and its digital content in 30, 40, 50 years' time, I don't believe that you'll be able to download Destiny and have a go. Well, especially that one, because the servers will likely be turned off because it's an online game. But I don't think you'll be able to download some games that get forgotten and taken off servers and things like that in 50, 60 years' time.
Oh no, how will you go in the nursing home? We might be able to play Last of Us.
Oh no.
I've got a physical copy of that.
Oh, well, you're right then, you said.
To
Yeah.
be fair, I'll be happy playing Black still, because that game is amazing, even for its age.
Yeah.
But with a physical game, when you're buying it, you own the cover. You own the physical disc.
Yep.
The content that's on it, you don't own. You can't do anything else with it other than play it. So that's the only thing that we're not getting is the physical bits. The game itself, you're never going to own it.
Let's be honest. You can go buy a physical copy of most games now.
Yeah.
And you still can't play it without.
It's just got a
being
downloader
online.
on it. Yeah.
You've got to have an Xbox Live account, or you've got to, and as soon as those things disappear, those systems disappear, you're not going to be able to play them whether you've got a physical disc in your hand or not.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
is the next step, or the next part of the evolution for this, physical retailers becoming online retailers? So someone like JB Hi-Fi selling online, like digital-only versions of a game?
Maybe.
Because once that happens, then you
It's-
get rid of that monopoly that PlayStation and Microsoft have, where they're charging $100 for a game, or $105 for Godzilla.
I actually, that is a very scary thought, and I don't want to go down that path, because what will happen is we'll end up with things like with music, with Spotify and like that, and the likes of that, where they will have a catalog, and then there's some music that they own exclusively, and I'll have to pay like a subscription fee to them. But then there'll be an album that I really want to listen to that the competitor has, and I'll have to buy another subscription, and then I'll literally just be paying subscriptions out the arse to all these different companies just so I can play all the games I want to play. And there'll be a whole bunch of games I don't want to play.
Yeah.
And the good thing about having, say, a PlayStation and Xbox holding the keys, and while that's also a scary thought because they can monopolize it, to be honest, for them it'll be a case of we've sold the subscription. It's now all the stuff that goes on in the background. It's all the producers and stuff like that trying to get onto their system, and it'll be membership based kind of thing. They'll go, we want as many members as we can, so all the producers make the games for us because that's where the biggest reach will be.
What I think would be a good idea is if you are, like, if these people that own these video games, if you've purchased a digital form of the game, let's say it's Destiny, right? Always online, only online. The day that they want to turn off those servers and you can no longer play it online, they push out a patch, and that patch makes the game work offline.
Yep.
That would be a good idea. But the thing is, you can't play multiplayer. You can just play the game on your own. At least you've still got something there that you've paid for.
So in the case of Destiny, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Before you realise that this game was so much better with people.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe a bad example, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and yes, it's a good idea.
All right. Well, I think they actually did that with a game. Somebody did that with a game. I can't remember what one it was, and you could still play it like landing up. I don't remember what game it was.
Well, see, that lends itself to fans upholding the vigil.
Yeah.
They'll create ways of living out this life online. The hardcore fans always do. They either create clones or ports of the game, and we say that Destiny's a huge game and it would be hard to port. One day it's going to become easier to do. It'll be some kid, 14-year-old kid sitting in high school. He's got 5 minutes of spare time and goes, "Hey, look at that! I just ported Destiny. Put that out." Scary thought, I know. Anyway, but I think that's the other thing that happens with these games is the hardcore community sticks with it and creates ways of living past into its second life, its afterlife, if you will.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move on to another topic that I've got here from Rusky Big Muskie. Should gamers upgrade to 4K, and obviously the 4K consoles that go along with it, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X?
Depends.
Should we do it? If you haven't already.
Depends. It depends. It comes down to personal preference, I think. I haven't.
Someone actually asked me
yet.
this the other day.
Yeah, and what'd you say?
Whether they should. They were looking to buy an Xbox, so they don't have an Xbox, and they've only got a standard PS4. And they asked me, is the Xbox One X worth the money? Simple answer was, it's up to you. Do you have the cash? Yeah, they had the cash. I said, well, yes, it is. It's 100% worth the money. When it's upgrading, I'm still a little hesitant to say yes, solely for the fact that it is a big cash outlay, and if you've got a console that's still working, then it doesn't do anything. It's not that big a leap.
Do you know
to really warrant it?
I got a little bit different feel on that.
Jump into it for sure.
See, I think that what makes the Xbox One X worth it is how terrible the Xbox One is.
Yeah.
See, I think the PS4 Pro is more of a waste of time than the Xbox One X because the PlayStation 4 is so good. Like, the PlayStation 4 plays most games at 1080, not all, but most games, and they perform so much better on the PS4 than they do on the Xbox One. So upgrading to the PS4 Pro, I would only really recommend to those that want the 4K or the close to 4K, because it doesn't really do 4K in many games. But if you want higher than 1080, you want your 1440 and all that sort of stuff, you want your HDR well, I suppose the standard console does HDR, but if you want the best of the best and the Pro is yes, go for that. But the Xbox One, most games run terrible. Some games that are 1080 or 900 on the PS4 are still 720 upscaled on the Xbox One. And it's just terrible. They look rubbish. They don't play very good. The frame rates are up and down. Screen tearing's a big issue.
At PUBG. So PUBG's just passed 4 million players on the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
And people would have seen on the page over Christmas and whatnot, and over our break, I got to have a Xbox One X for a few weeks and have a play with it, and just spent the time comparing it and just going through that sort of stuff. Playing a lot of PUBG. On the original Xbox, you can land and stuff hasn't rendered in yet.
Yeah,
you can literally walk into a house and there's nothing in the house. There's nothing on the floors for you to pick up. You go out, you come back a minute later, and everything's there. Sometimes I've landed and the door hasn't even rendered in. Yeah, there's lots and lots of problems associated with the original Xbox. Playing on the One X, there's none of that. Everything runs smooth. Everything's crisp. It's clear. It doesn't have as many issues. It doesn't have as many drops. So that's the perfect thing that it's there to upgrade, and that's a big step. But the reason I say, does everyone go out now and buy it? It does kind of come down to a personal preference. For me, playing with the One X on the 4K TV did nothing for me. It was nothing special at all. And I played games that did have the 4K patch, which was a massive download. And for the difference that it gave me, it was negligible. But when I brought it to play on the 1080 monitor, and that's when everything actually really sort of picked up. So it comes down to that preference. If you want to go out and say, you can get a good trade-in deal on your original Xbox, and you've got the funds there to go for it, I'd say if you've got, say, a day one Xbox, I wouldn't be upgrading to the One S. I'd go straight to the One X. If you've just upgraded to the One S and the One S is still doing it for you, then that's where you sort of question it.
See, I would say to anyone that doesn't have a console, let's just say you don't have a PS4 at all, you don't have an Xbox at all. If you want to buy, I'm going to say if you're going to buy a PlayStation 4, then I think the choice is yours. How much you're going to get into it, how much you care about 4K. If you want to save a bit of coin, go for a PlayStation 4. Okay, don't worry about the Pro. But if you don't want the PlayStation, you want an Xbox, don't even consider the One or you can't get the One anymore. Don't even consider the S. I would wipe that completely. It is a great console when you're just using it generally, but there are so many games out there that do not have any justice given to them. They run like crap. I wouldn't even entertain it. If I didn't already have the ones that I have, I wouldn't have them. I would only have an X. You might sound like I'm singing the praise of the X. I'm not. I'm not up here going the Xbox One X is the greatest, most amazing thing in the world. I'm more so saying that the Xbox One is rubbish.
Yeah. And mine's got the PlayStation fan now.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Oh, neither of mine have done that. All my
no, after
Xboxes are good.
After Fortnite the other night.
Oh, cranked up, did it?
Was going nuts.
And look, just as to cover what I'm saying, and I don't hate the Xbox. I love the Xbox. I really love where it's come. I love how its integration with my set-top box. I love that. I love the gameplay on it, and I love how it all works now with all the latest updates. But now that the X is out, it makes it quite obvious that the standard Xbox was a bit of a joke. I would never have considered buying a third-party game on my Xbox before the X, because they just don't run as good as they do on the standard PlayStation 4. And look, you could say that's my opinion, but I don't think it is. I think that's fact.
No, well, you've got a second from me. The games that I've played on both, the standard PS4 runs all over the standard Xbox.
100% it does. And that's fact.
Hmm.
The games that are running at 1080 and 30 on the PS4 might run at 900 on the Xbox. It's a small difference, but it's less. Why would you go for less? And when you're comparing some games, like what was the latest one?
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein was running at a strange resolution.
810p.
Yeah, was that what it was? 810?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it's still...
That's meh high definition.
yeah.
That's Meh Edition.
Meh Edition. But see, like, it's still playable. It's still very playable. But why would you go for that? Like, because it doesn't, like, it looks a ton better on the X. Like, there's,
when you
there's a
play it
difference.
first on the One X and then try and play it on the original,
Yep.
it's not playable.
It's mind-boggling how
It's
different
massive.
it is.
I actually couldn't believe it, to the point where I'm sitting there and you can, like, I thought that something was not right. I reconnected all my cables. I thought something hadn't been connected properly, and it was just because there was just that much of a difference between the two.
Yeah. Well, look, 12 months ago, and then it's just sort of backing up where I stand about saying that the Xbox is shit. 12 months ago, I could probably ask all three of you and say, I want you to tell me what's my main platform of use. What do I mainly play my games on?
And it was the PS.
PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 was my daily driver. That's what I used. That's what I gamed on. If it was a cross-platform game, a third-party game, I bought it on the PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Today, now that I have an Xbox One X, same question I ask, it's not the same answer.
Mm.
The Xbox One X is my daily driver. That's what I use every day, and that's what I get my third-party games on. Doesn't make me an Xbox fanboy, because Xbox doesn't have The Last of Us. It doesn't have...
Uncharted.
God of War, Uncharted. It doesn't have all those big IPs. So I'm not shit-canning the PlayStation. Not at all. But the Xbox One X is premium. So if you're going to go Xbox, get the X. Otherwise, it's quite disappointing, the old X, the S. There you go.
There you go. I think we covered that one.
We did cover that one. All right, another one from Rusky. Should Microsoft do VR?
No.
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 Well, that's a trick question. That is a trick question.
It is.
Why is it a trick question?
Xbox do the
Ramutha
VR.
and I were discussing this the other day. Essentially, you've got to remember that Microsoft technically is already doing VR. They're just not doing it on the Xbox.
Okay, well,
yet.
yeah, change the question. Should Xbox have VR?
I think, well, we think, when we had this discussion the other day, Xbox is playing the smart game. It's developing, well, Microsoft is developing stuff for their PCs with the Oculus and all that jazz, and that's pretty much where the drivers are for them at the moment. I think they're sitting back, waiting, watching, and seeing if PlayStation VR picks up, and listening.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're waiting to see whether this falls down or picks up for PlayStation. And if it picks up and it takes a big, huge running leap and it starts making huge headway, they can literally just take everything they've been doing on the Oculus and just go and move it across the Xbox.
Paint it green.
With like, and just paint it green and stick a
Yeah.
big X on the side of it, and voila, they're done. They don't have to do anything more. They're done. They're ready to go. And I think
good point.
I think that's where they're at.
Now, what I was thinking is this generation, no, not at all. Don't worry about it. That's a territory that could hurt all the good work they're doing if it fails.
Yep.
Yeah.
They need to focus on getting the Xbox back up to where it was with the 360, get it popular. Game Pass is making that happen. People are turning their heads and going, huh? What? $10.95 a month for over 100 games and all of Microsoft exclusive games? What? Who is this company? This is definitely not EA. What is going on here? I might get myself an Xbox so I don't have to buy games. I can just pay a $10 subscription. This is Netflix for video games. And not just with shitty rerun stuff from 10 years ago. This is current stuff they're going to be giving us. People are turning heads. Max Power. He's got his YouTube channel. Max Power, I think it's called. Links are on our website. He put a video up saying instead of calling it the Xbox Game Pass, it should be the Xbox Game Changer Pass. And I agree with him totally. Because it is a game changer. And I think they need to focus on that, not something that's wishy-washy like VR.
It's literally what we were just talking about. This is the Spotify for gaming.
Yeah, 100% it is. Absolutely.
And I think that's the future of game sales right there.
And the thing is, at the moment, with the way that the infrastructure is set out, you can pay your $10.95 and play the game. But if you feel like you don't want that, you can buy the game as well later on. So you can treat Xbox Game Pass as a paid demo for a month. And if you like it, buy it. I don't know how DLC is going to work. I suppose you'd probably just buy the DLC normally. But then if your Game Pass expires, then the DLC is there for nothing, and then maybe you'll buy the game. But I think it's integrated quite well, and I think it'll do them great. It'll get them back up there, but concentrating on something that's a bit iffy, like VR, I think is a big mistake. So no, I don't think Microsoft should get into VR yet.
Yeah, I think give it another, even just 12, 18 months. You can nail through some of the teething issues that VR is currently having. You can focus on bringing out bigger titles, which the X will allow them to run a lot better. And you're already going to have a much more impressive library of games that are going to work much better on technology that's been PC proven.
I think write it off until the next gen.
Yeah, fair enough.
But don't launch it with it like the Kinect.
No.
Let's get some wireless VR happening. I don't mind having a battery pack on the back of the thing that'll last me 2 hours. For the sake of not having all those batteries. And then if you want to, give me a battery
pack like a 90s mobile phone though.
Or how about this? Or have it wireless, but one cable plugs into the power. One cable. Have everything else wireless. Surely it's possible, because they haven't. I think Vive have just done an add-on to make it wireless.
Yep.
So it's possible. The technology's there. Have a battery pack on there that might last for 2 hours, but give me the ability to plug it into just the power cord. So that way, if it goes low, I can just plug in the power cord and keep playing. I don't have to worry about plugging it into the console and all that sort of junk. Make that work, and it'll be a lot more convenient for everyone.
Oh, because you unplug yours because you don't have the HDR pass-through, eh?
Yeah, because I've got the original VR, which doesn't have 4K pass-through. So if I want to play my PlayStation in 4K, I have to disconnect the VR, which sucks.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here looking at mine going, it is only one cable. I just pick it up, put it on my head, take it off, put it down. But mine's always plugged in and I'm only playing on a 1080 monitor.
Yeah, see, I've got to disconnect mine. Yeah, there's the difference. And then they bring out the new one that I think it does have 4K pass-through, the new one.
Yeah, but you can't just buy the box.
It's not compatible with the old one. It's not compatible
because we say...
Fuck you. Yeah, it could work on that one, Sony.
So we're hoping for trade-ins so we can give them the old one and get the new one?
Yeah, but the new one doesn't have the headphone control.
Yeah, use those silly little friggin' plug-in head... What are they? The earbuds.
Yeah,
right.
How does it work again? Is it just... No, they've gotten rid of the control where the thing plugs into.
On the cable.
Yeah, and
where you plug a headset into, and now they've just got earbuds.
Yeah,
so they've
which,
taken iPhone X technology to the to VR.
oh,
Pretty much.
it's stupid. So you can't adjust the volume, and I don't know. Oh, that's right. The earbuds are connected to the thing now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're connected to the band.
So you can't use your own headphones
No.
over the top because there's nowhere to plug them in.
Yeah. So when your mates come around, you can just pass them around the room.
Yeah,
Oh,
bit
there you go.
earwax, it's all
Yeah,
good.
here, try this,
Yeah.
and let's get a little bit intimate. Yeah, you can have a bit of my body excrement into your own ear hole. Or my ear hole discharge.
Someone say inner ear infection.
Right.
That word's wrong. Discharge.
It's when you put it in and go, ooh, that was a bit moist.
Oh god, it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yep.
Moist discharge.
Yeah.
Disgusting. No, don't do VR. Right.
There's going to be a
Snoogs,
PSA about that.
quick mention. Thank you very much to Paul Clennett for getting us into the Heartaches concert in Sydney. That was awesome. Really appreciated that.
Top night, wasn't it?
It was a good night. That is a very good band. Paul, you should be proud. If you don't know, Paul's son is the lead singer of the Heartaches, and I recommend them if you're into what genre are you talking here? It's kind of like rock.
I put them in
pub rock?
the Aussie pub rock scene. They're a good pub rock band.
Yeah, and they weren't just like support act for someone really cool. They were the headliner.
Mm. And the
That
two
was-
support acts weren't bad either.
Yeah, they weren't bad, absolutely. But yeah, check out Heartaches. Go and look them up on YouTube and have a listen. And yeah, if you like them, get their albums on iTunes and all that sort of stuff. So thanks a lot, Paul Clennett. You got us into that one, and we really appreciate it because it was a top night.
Yes, and I got to drink Slayer Brew.
You did, yeah. You drank that dark ale based on its name.
Yep.
You weirdo.
What? It was weird. It was kind of like a weak Guinness.
Fermented bat blood.
Could have
Oh,
been
yeah.
fermented bat blood. No, it was like a weak Guinness. So I could have drunk it all night.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Let's talk about another thing from the news while we were off. If you cast your memories back, there was an issue in Wichita, Kansas, where there was a swatting incident that went really, really wrong for the victim. What happened is there was a game of Call of Duty where somebody lost a game. It was a bet and there was money riding on it. It was probably a thing through some website. Somebody lost $1.50. Although it is US, $1.50 US, so about $80.
$27 Australian.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a
And
lot of money for us.
the loser contacted this guy and said, I want you to swat this bloke. Here's his address. So the swatter gives the police a call, says, I've just killed someone in my family or whatever. I'm holding them.
My father.
My father was it. I'm going to kill the rest of them. He also says, I'm at this address, thinking that he was giving the address of the other Call of Duty player that they wanted to be the victim. However, the address that was provided initially was not the right address. It was a random address for this poor bloke that had nothing to do with any of it. The police rock up, they're all out the front, loudspeakers come out. The guy comes to the front door. If you go to the Aussie Gamers Express YouTube channel, you can see the footage there in the video. Just search up Wichita and you'll find it. And I don't know what he's doing. It kind of did look like he reached for a gun, which he wasn't, because he was innocent. He had nothing to do with it. Police ended up opening fire, killed the man. This is a swatting incident going really bad. Now, the people involved have been arrested, being charged. I believe the charge is involuntary manslaughter. And Snoogs, you and I had a quick conversation about this, which is why I thought it might be interesting for the
Yeah.
podcast. Involuntary manslaughter, while we probably don't know the levity of that charge exactly, but do you think that's too tough? Or do you think it's not tough? or do you think it's probably spot on?
I think it's a little lenient. Since our conversation where I was flat out, he should have been charged with murder.
Yeah.
Just on a side note, that charge comes with a minimum of 9 years in prison.
Minimum 9 years prison.
Minimum 9 years.
Okay.
So, just to give people an idea of what we're talking about.
Okay.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, it's 32 years, but it's a minimum of 9.
See,
Okay.
I thought it was a maximum of 9
Oh,
and a minimum of 3.
anyway,
Either way, I think it's a little lenient. Where when we spoke about it, Luke, it was he should be charged with murder. I've kind of walked away from that so much. I do think he should be charged with something that carries the murder tag. Manslaughter is kind of when I hear of involuntary manslaughter, it kind of sounds to me like it's a step down, like someone's had an appeal to get their murder charge downgraded to manslaughter.
But it is a step down from murder.
Then I think they should be put up to whether it be involuntary murder.
But see, no, but it's not. It's not. But that's not what happened.
No, that's right.
He hasn't murdered anyone, and he hasn't gone out to try and get anyone murdered.
So
his stupid and reckless
caused
act.
the death.
Yes, it
but
did.
The definition of manslaughter is
You got someone killed.
Your actions weren't intent. Your intentions were never to kill someone. They were never. You were never meditating to kill someone. However, your actions have inadvertently killed someone.
Yes.
That's essentially what manslaughter is.
So, which is
And
why
this
I
is
think.
exactly why he's getting charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, and I agree with it. I think it's spot on because when I think of murder, is if this guy went round to the house and shot him himself, he should be charged with murder. But what he's done essentially, he was swatting someone, and I'm not sticking up for the whole swatting thing, saying it's fine. But what it's supposed to be is just a prank, okay? And I'm not saying that it is anywhere near that kind of category, but that's what it's generally meant to be by these morons that do it. A prank, where they go in and like, ha ha, you had the police knock you onto the ground and handcuff you, ha ha, very funny. Someone got killed, and you caused that to happen, but you didn't mean it. You did that. That's not what your intentions were. Involuntary manslaughter. It's like if you're driving and you accidentally veer off the side of the road, like maybe you don't pay attention, you're looking in the wrong way, if you're onto oncoming traffic, head on with another car and they die. That's manslaughter. You didn't intentionally turn into their path to kill them. I think that's right.
To be fair, I think if you want to carry this further than what it has, I think you should charge the other 2 people involved with getting that person behind that gun.
Also
charged with manslaughter.
The
guy that provided the fake address.
Yes, they have been charged also.
And also the guy that said, I want you to go swat him. I think all 3 of them, all 3 oxygen thieves, should be in jail.
Yeah, no, the others involved have been charged. I don't know exactly what their involvement charge-wise is, but I have read reports, and look, I'll say that I've read this, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I have read reports that do suggest that the other people involved have also been charged.
Right.
Which is fair.
Last time I read, they hadn't been, so yeah, that's good. That's good. I think that's...
Well, the big thing is that I think they need to make an example out of it. It's got... swatting, this was always going to happen. With people doing swatting, it was going to happen eventually. People have been shot already because of it. Now someone's actually been killed.
Yeah.
So this needs
100%.
to stop.
Make an example of him, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100% make an example. There was always the thought as well, being that we're in Australia, things kind of happen a little bit differently here, and I've never been in that sort of situation with that sort of level of tension and, having someone come out with that looks like they're pulling a gun. But I've watched a few guys that actually go on Twitch, and they'll go and do a raid on someone's stream, and they'll pull pranks on the stream, right? So what they'll do is they'll play something. Somehow they get into this person's headset or whatever they do, and they'll play a sound that sounds like a knocking at the door.
Yes, I've seen that.
Or a knocking on the window or something.
Yes.
And the amount of people that are sitting there with a freaking loaded gun next to them.
Ugh.
Oh,
So
yeah.
This thing, so whatever, so they're pissing themselves laughing because they're watching someone on a stream, you know, hearing a knock at the door and taking their headset off, but they pick a freaking gun up as well.
Yeah, guns are...
And-
I think the gun laws in America are stupid.
But the fact that this guy, and like, these are young people doing it, like, you know, in their late teens, 20s, and picking up a gun to... So I understand that, you know, it's pretty much, you know, going the black and white sort of route. A lot of it seems to be you're guilty until proven innocent, especially when there's the thought of a gun involved. But these people need to be made an example of because someone has now, you know, died because of their actions.
Yeah. Well,
I do think that they need to be given, you know, maximum penalties for this, whether it be, you know, in my view, it should be that they should be labelled as a murderer, or however the system does it, they need to be made an example, and their punishment needs to be reflected on that.
Yeah. Well, if you got somewhere between 5 and 9 years, I think that would be reasonable. I don't think maximum.
No, they're a drain on the system anyway. Put them away.
Well, but we do need an example, and I think these blokes are going to be. They're going to do some time, I'm sure. All right. Oh, just a quick question that I want to throw out there. Rusky Big Muskie's given us a few questions. I'm going to throw one back on him. I absolutely, without a doubt, know he's listening. Rusky, you are an American. You are living in the United States. Do you have any guns? And if you don't have any guns, do you think that the American gun laws are fair or ridiculous? Come back.
If you don't have any guns, why not?
I'd really like to
Goddamn
know.
American. Get some guns.
If anybody else listening is from America and you want to chime in on that question, I pose it to you as well. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
Definitely.
Does anybody else want to jump in there? I've got a few more I can keep going, or if you've got one you want to throw in, go ahead.
No,
I did have one, but it's gone.
It's gone? All right. Well, Deb, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
All right. The next topic I'm going to talk about is a game I played recently and reviewed. It's called Shadow of the Colossus on the PlayStation 4. You guys heard of that one?
Once or twice, yeah.
Has anyone not heard about this game?
Yeah. Now, it came out originally on the PS2. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Anyone play it back on the PS2?
Yes.
No.
Okay, I didn't. I never played it on the PS2. Didn't know about it. It was a PS3 PlayStation Plus game, and as I do, it was free, so I purchased it or what have you. Left it there, never touched it. Unlike you, Greggio, who would have just left it.
You know what? After we're done here, we can talk about that, all right?
Yes, we'll go into that matter. That needs to be discussed. And I never touched it. And one day I was bored, had nothing to play, which is why this is a good idea to do. I went, oh, I'll download this, I'll give it a go. And I was floored by it. I was like, wow, I had no idea how cool this game is. And that was my first time playing it. For whatever reason, I never actually finished it. But anyway, it's been completely remade from the ground up. So this isn't
You didn't
a remaster.
finish it because of how bad it makes you feel.
It does. It does make you feel
It
bad.
makes you feel absolutely terrible for what you're doing. You're like
Yeah,
crying as you're gutting something.
but you've got to finish it.
Mm.
That's all I'll say. Because the end ties it up perfectly. Because I've finished it now. Playing the remake on the PS4, like I was saying, it's a complete remake. It's not a remaster. So they haven't just gone, oh, let's make this look prettier. They remade the bloody game from scratch. Now, obviously, using all of the bits and pieces that they already had, so it feels like you're playing the exact same game. But all of the textures, all of the like the the assets used in the game are all brand new and in 4K if you're playing on a PS4 Pro. It is absolutely breathtaking. It looks beautiful. There is absolutely no comparison when you're looking at PS2, PS3 versions versus the PS4. It is 1,000 times more beautiful. The colours, the crisp graphics are amazing. The character models, everything looks great. If you don't know what Shadow of the Colossus is, you play as this guy named Wanda. Nothing to do with the other game of the same name, I promise you. And your, I don't know, your girlfriend, your wife, I assume it's something like that, is either unconscious, sick, or dead, and he carries her into this forbidden land, and he gets given a task by Dormus? I don't know, this weird disembodied voice says to you, if you go and kill all of these colossi, I will bring this person back to life. And Wanda says, yeah, no worries, I'll do that. There are 16 massive, majestic beasts known as colossi, and you have to go and stab them, whether it be in their ass, their back, or the top of their head until they die. These beasts are just on their own, in this forbidden land, doing their own thing, and you go there and murder them. Not involuntary manslaughter them.
Commit mass genocide.
Absolutely. There are 16 of them. They didn't ask for this, and you kill them. All because...
Wanda is technically Hitler.
Yes, you'd make Hitler proud.
Absolutely. And if you do that, I'm going to bring your missus back. And he's like, yeah, cool, no dramas. I've got absolutely no problem with that whatsoever because I'm a heartless bastard.
Yes. Would you like me to stab them with a knife or with a spoon?
And then from there on, the game tells you, fuck all. There is absolutely no, like, it gives you a little bit of an indication. You've got a sword, and it says you use the sunlight to direct where you're going. So if you hold your sword up in the sunlight, doesn't work in the shadows, in shade.
Shadows of the Colossus?
It does, yes, there you go.
See what they did there?
So you hold your sword up.
See?
Yeah, smart, aren't they?
When you're in the shadow of the Colossus, you don't know where you're going.
So the sword will reflect the light into a single beam, and that beam points the direction of the colossi that you're looking for. So essentially it shows you a straight line. So half the game you're going to be spending finding where they are, because you can't go in a straight line because there's mountains and there's water and all that sort of stuff. So you've got to find bridges, you've got to go under tunnels. So it's actually a little bit of a challenge in finding where you need to go. So it's good exploration. It can be frustrating sometimes. I will admit I did use a guide sometimes with locations because I couldn't find the bastard. There's these things that are like 400,000 feet tall and I still couldn't find them. Blind free.
You're just walking around his foot. Just going, where the fuck is he?
That's it.
Need to call Kratos in, mate.
So you look for them using your sword, and in this massive forbidden land, there is nothing else. There are no enemies. There's nothing. There are lizards, which I found out after the game, because the game doesn't tell you, or if it does, I missed it. If you kill the lizards and collect their tail, it increases your grip strength. And you need grip strength for when you're climbing up on top of the colossi to kill them, because once the grip strength runs out, you can't hold on any longer and you fall. So you can kill the lizards to get more grip strength.
Can I stop you there? Let me get this straight. You went into a forbidden land to literally murder a bunch of things.
Yes.
And as you're walking along, you saw a bunch of lizards and you just went, "No, I'm not going to try and kill them. I'm just gonna let them be. I've committed enough murder." And you just let the lizards go. You didn't try at least once to kill one of them.
Yes, I did. I did kill one, yes. But I didn't realise what it did. Because it wasn't obvious. It doesn't... You pick it up, it doesn't go, grip strength increased. It doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah. It's not like drinking a V. It just improved you a bit.
That's it.
It's like a bunch of lizard tails. Drink them. It's like a little lizard tail improves you a bit.
Also, you can.
That really is playing on everyone's genocidal instincts, isn't it? It's like, oh shit, that moved. Dead.
Kill.
Yeah. You ask yourself the question, can I kill that? And the answer is
I'm going to
yes.
try and kill that.
You can grab hold of the birds, the eagles, and fly like with them.
And then kill them and eat them.
I don't know if you could kill them. I tried, but I didn't manage.
All I can see is this
You
poor
still
bird
tried.
I did try.
trying-
And you also have a horse, and the horse's name is Aggro. And you can kill your horse, apparently. No,
Does he try to inappropriately touch? What's her name?
Touch Wanda.
Jeez.
Anne Marie.
no.
Darling.
Oh, Aggro. Aggro's guardian connection. Lovely. But anyway, no, you can't kill your horse. You could use your horse, obviously, to get places a lot quicker. The thing is, your horse is inebriated 100% of the time.
Cool.
What I found out after playing the game, once again, it didn't tell me this. Aggro
Does the tail
is...
side the room up?
No, he actually controls himself. So you don't have to steer him. You can, but you're kind of like fighting his auto run. Which is why he's...
Have you
So-
ever tried to
so
steer
wouldn't
someone that's drunk?
I was going to say, so you're just riding a drunk horse wherever. Just
No.
wherever
So,
he takes
what
you.
I'm,
Well,
what I'm
you-
thinking is the horse wasn't drunk at all. It was just by you fighting it, it made him look drunk.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly right. Essentially what you need to do is point him in the direction you want to go, and you press the button to kick him. You kick the shit out of him, mind you. You can just keep pounding it.
Jeez.
And he will just run and avoid obstacles, and if he goes into like a corridor, he'll follow the corridor and actually does it quite well.
I miss
It's
PS2. Such a serene time.
It was me fighting the controls which made it so horrible. But anyway, the game doesn't tell you any of this. Anyway, you eventually find your Colossi to beat. It's a bit of a puzzle because you don't know how to beat him. You've got to find his weak points. You've got to get him to drop down. You've got to climb up to him, and you've got to stab the shit out of the icons that are on his body. You bring him down. He dies. You absorb his life force. You respawn back next to your partner, your girlfriend, or your wife, or whatever, and then you start again. And your sword now points the way to the next Colossi.
Next.
That there is the game. That's it. You do that, and you do that 16 times, and the game's finished. Sounds simple, but it is so much more than that. It is actually really fun. It is a really good game. I recommend playing it.
If I remember correctly, too, they don't fight back, do they?
Well, some do, but
Yeah.
they don't really put up too much of a fight. They will, like, depending on your difficulty, they'll hurt you. But
Yeah.
like the first couple don't even attack you. They just walk around. You could get stepped on, or they might pound the ground, and you'll lose health. But no, they're fairly passive. You know, there are some, like there's some that are like big lion-looking things that are actually the smallest colossi in the game. They will attack you, and they will run at you really fast. But a lot of them are actually quite passive, which made it feel wrong that I'm sticking a sword in his brain. But
It's kind of starting to make me feel really uneasy about the reception it got at E3 then.
no,
It's like there's a bunch of homicidal maniacs out there
No,
that are just
but-
like cheering for this.
I'm avoiding spoiler territory. You have
Yeah,
to
sure.
play it, and you have to
Yeah,
finish
you
it. It is a really
have
good story. It ends really well as well. Floored by it. Absolutely loved it. If you're gonna play it, if you've never played it before, you got to play it on the PS4. If you've played it before, you have to play it on the PS4. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me.
So you just play it on the PS4.
100%.
And unless you're a member of PETA, then it's probably not a game for you because you're kicking the shit out of horses and cutting up lizards and riding eagles.
Yep.
Cool.
Pretty much.
That's
Well, maybe
that's
it is
the
a
review.
game for them, just so it gets it out of their system.
They're all pretend creatures. They're not real. Spoiler alert. Right.
I'm not sure that bothers Peter anymore. They're just like, well, we've saved all the real animals. Start saving the digital animals.
Yes, stop catching Pokemon.
Actually, let's not joke about that.
Roach is not a jerk. He's just misunderstood.
Is Roach a female?
Huh?
What?
Tell you.
Well, you
there's
just
some
said he's misunderstood.
That was terrible.
Right,
That-
new topic.
Shocking.
Grigio.
Yes. So, Xbox Gold membership. Every month you get free games. Now, here's where the argument begins.
Oh, so infuriating.
Are you like me and go, I only download the games I'm interested in? Or are you a hoarder and download everything, whether you intend to play it or not?
No, but it's
Because
not,
it's free.
it's not
Just
about
because it's
downloading them, Greg. You don't have to download it. Purchase it and have it in your library for that one day you think maybe I might try it.
What if it's
maybe one day-
complete and utter poo? What if Wanda was on there?
See, that's where the hoarder part comes in. Fair enough, I would take that anyway.
And there lies the argument.
No, but why is it a problem? Why is it a problem? Well, it's not taking up any space on my Xbox because it's not downloaded, but it's attached to my account should the one day... What if somebody comes up and says, hey, did you know in Wanda, if you press up, up, down, down, circle, square, it becomes a good game? And you're like, shit, I should have got it! What happens? If that comes out, you look at IGN one day and it goes, guess what? That absolute piece of shit is now playable. Oh, I didn't get it because it was rubbish. It was free. I had the option, but because it was poo, I ignored it. But now it's the most amazing game that's grossing millions, 5.5 million people, more people that are playing. Everybody that was playing PUBG is now playing Wanda.
In that extreme case,
But you don't fucking have it because
I'm
you didn't
happy
want to
pay
spend
for it
$0.
If it's that good.
Huh?
If it's that good, I'll pay for it.
But you didn't have to!
But you're telling me it's the most amazing game now, so I'm happy to pay. I'm happy to pay money.
Yeah, to fix your fuck up of not getting it when it was free.
Sorry, at the time I made the decision that it was terrible and wasn't worth getting.
The
I'm okay
only
with that.
thing that you are saving by not getting it is your lazy fucking press the button to buy.
Can I throw another angle in here?
No! I mean, yes.
I'm going. Rule 66, I'm going to. Do you remember? Cast your mind back 12 months or
Yeah.
so, and we had that terrible run of PS Plus games
Yeah.
when it was just every month, everyone complained, everyone
Yep.
bitched and moaned about it.
Yep.
Do you think if everyone that was bitching and moaning still went and just hit the buy button on it, that we'd be getting a lot better games now, or would we still just be getting crap because everyone's gone, oh, well, they're all loving these indie titles, let's just keep putting that out?
Jeez.
No, you can't. No, surely they don't take too much from that. People downloading the
No,
games
but
that are handed to
really?
them.
That's marketing.
That's how marketing works.
That's how marketing works.
look,
oh,
I don't-
shit,
look-
everyone's enjoying this, and it's only costing them $30 instead of $100.
Oh, yeah, but
Give it
look,
to 'em.
you keep doing that, and I will constantly keep getting them because you're putting it in front of my face, and I don't have to pay for it. I will take it. Well, I have paid.
See?
I've
See, that's
already
right.
paid. I've already paid for it, so I may as well. I may as well take it.
It's a bitch. Well, that's technically not the way I see it. I'm paying for. I'm not paying for that. That is a perk that they are giving me. I'm paying so I have gold subscription so I can play my games with everyone that I want to play with. So I can play Destiny or whatever it is I'm playing. Right?
Do you take your
That's
car
why I
in
pay
for
for
service, and when you go and pick it up, they've shined your tyres? Do you say no? Don't shine my tyres for free.
Actually, that's a really bad example because I will
Yeah.
tell them to wipe it off.
He will tell them.
If there's one thing I hate, it's tire shine. It's
You don't
terrible.
like tyre shine? Fuck, if we
Yeah,
had a car podcast, I'd be hammering you about that right now too, but we don't, so let's not dwell on that.
You know. Next time I go get my car washed, I'll bring you with me and I'll show you why I don't like tire shine.
Well, I'm curious, but not for the show.
It's a
So,
rock.
what I want to know, if
I'm happy. Let's make this a poll. Are you the klepto habitual button presser?
Klepto stealing anything?
Or are you the more moderated, clinical? Think about it before I press the button. Am I really ever going to play this game? Am I really interested?
What is wrong with me that rages me so much? It's not my problem. It's yours. It's your choice completely.
Remember
I
your 2018 right here.
Why does it bother me so much?
167 games on my PS4 library, and I reckon I've played about 18 of them.
See that? I don't see the point. I
I don't do it so much anymore. I'm very particular about what I click and go to download. But yeah, for a while there, it was like, woo!
Yeah, I don't download any of them, but I put them in me library. Oh.
But to be fair, in the spirit of understanding, I did literally collect all my Xbox Live Gold free games this month.
Yep.
And I am going to try all of them. And like I said, if the ones that I think are going to be garbage are garbage and I don't like them, I will tell you. And I'll just go, I don't need to play them to know I'm right.
Right, but you've got to give Zombie a good go. You can't just play
I will,
that for 2 minutes.
I will literally
and go,
give Zombie a good... No. I will literally give it a good solid... How long needs to be a good go? Like an hour?
Well, it's a survival game, so obviously the start of the game is going to be barren because you don't have much. But
sure,
give
you
it
got to
an
at least
hour.
go through a couple of deaths, because then you can go and find your old self and murder them. And
Yeah, give it an hour or two.
All right, so the criteria is I have to be able to find myself and murder myself.
Well, you
Yeah,
can,
right.
yeah, because what happens
Okay.
in that game, when you die, it's because you've become a zombie. But then you'll respawn as a new survivor. But your zombie dead body that you were is still in the game. So you go back to where you remember being killed, find your old self, who has all of your loot, kill them, and take your loot back.
All right.
So how many Greggio zombies does he need to kill?
I don't care, it's up to you. But I hope you enjoy it. I liked it.
Look, like I said, I'll give it a go.
Good. There you go. All right, let's get my blood pressure back down to normal and let's talk about something that's really cool. Sea of Thieves, closed beta. We're allowed to talk about that now.
oh, thank God!
Yay!
Hurrah.
I could just watch the water in the ocean for hours.
I could
couldn't.
literally drink all of our rum for hours.
I could vomit in the sea. Good game. That's going to be a good game. I don't really rate it as a single player experience, but as something
No.
if all four of us getting on there, that's going to be some fun.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
Except
As-
for when you play
as a
with
single
arseholes
player?
that have already done it before and go straight to the treasure and get it before you get a chance to work out the little hints and tips on the treasure map.
As a single player
Snoogavision.
game,
Yeah.
being a jerk's about the only way that it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just messing with other people.
Just messing with other people. I
Troll.
spent a good couple of hours just in one of the ports, and would literally just someone would run off and drop something off. I'd get onto their boat and raise the anchor and then jump off.
I
Just
regret
watch them
nothing!
fly away. Or, I'd load myself into a cannon and shoot across their bow and then watch them just shit themselves and turn the other way. But
Hang on, did you
person.
just say that you would shoot across their bow?
bow, B-O-W,
Oh,
from the boat.
the front of the boat. Oh,
Not across their bow. No, I'm not going, ooh, look at Nanus.
To be fair, getting fired out of a cannon at someone's anus is never going to end well.
No.
Can't look like Mr. Bean with a turkey in his head.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, the money shot. All right, well, I had a good time with it. It looks great. It plays great.
Oh, I had a
March, 20-something of
stupid
March?
amount of fun.
is when it comes out, isn't it?
March, yeah.
And you can play it for $10.95.
Yes.
Literally,
Paper.
you can get drunk, you can play music, you can cross dress, you can fire yourself out of a cannon, you can find treasure, sink a ship, punch a shark in the face. What else is there? Climb a crow's nest,
Drift
I can
ship.
I can
Drift
sink
a ship.
ships.
go on a ghost ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You can fight
And-
other people. You can hijack ships.
stand in front of a compass while someone's trying to drive.
Oh, that was so annoying. Oh, that
Yeah.
random guy.
Stand in the back
And
room
did you-
to false
Did
direction.
you read about the fort attack that I put up on the page the other?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
Oh,
what
the
it is
mode?
there's going to be a every now and again there'll be a certain fort that you need, like it'll have like a special treasure or something that's been discovered there. So you've got to go to the fort, overtake it, and get the treasure and bugger off. Problem is, and what makes it so much fun, is that everybody that's on the map in that server with you knows about it.
Mm.
So everyone is converging on one fort at one time.
It's going to be carnage. It's gonna
Oh,
be
it's
so
going to be
good.
so much fun. Could you imagine like 10 ships with an idiot on the front dancing a jig, just plowing in?
No, I can just imagine like 10 ships around the fort, and each one of them has someone in a cannon firing themselves onto the fort.
That's
Just watching these
exactly it.
people fly through the air.
While playing Flight of the Valkyries on their crank,
That's right.
which is exactly my favorite thing I did the entire
Yeah,
time.
that was great fun.
That's good.
So
So
all for
good.
$10.95. Look at
Mm.
that's a lot of
Yeah, how good is
trolling
that?
and idiocy for $10.95.
I cannot wait.
Ah.
It is going to be a heap of fun.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
makes GD5 overrated now for like dollars per trolley.
Nice. All right. Well, we're all keen for that release in March. So lovely, lovely.
What was your favourite part of the beta?
Literally firing myself out of the
Just-
cannon while playing Flight of the Valkyries.
Just
Cool.
and then hitting a rock on the island, like head first. Bam.
I just loved the mucking around, the hijinks. Really.
Yep.
There's shenanigans are
Do
plenty.
it, yeah,
The
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
Just like the whole, the laugh of when the boat was sinking, and
I think that's what we should call
scrambling.
our boat. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
shenanigans,
Scrambling to try and get it patched, then having to bucket the water out. And I'm like, what? You got to do this? And and then climbing up to the crow's nest, and then screw climbing down. I'm just going to jump into the water, and the boat's
Hello, shark.
sinking. Yeah, getting bit in the ass by a shark. Doing the treasure chest, finding that using like the treasure
Yeah, the map riddles.
the treasure
They were
map
good.
riddles. They were fun. I'm looking forward to them getting really lengthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like maybe every a couple of maps. That I've got one map, you've got another one. Someone and maybe
Yeah, you
4
gotta work it
maps where we have to work together. You don't have what's written on my map, and I don't have what's written on yours. So my interpretation and my ability to read what it says to you guys properly is what's important. I reckon that would be a really cool thing. I don't know if that's a thing, but that would be a cool thing to make people work as a team, and it stops Snoogs from going and doing the whole thing before I
radar
even
over there.
finish reading what the map says, because he's got the same map.
You like get through the first clue, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go. I got the
Got it. I've got the chest.
Done.
Yep. Next one.
Bloody
That was like
Snoog.
our constant stream, Snooks, was just you hitting chest. Dink.
Got it.
It was,
And I hadn't done it before. It was just pure luck.
it was great.
Ass. More ass
One of
than
the
class.
best things I had the last day it was on. So the Wednesday they did a big update on Tuesday night, and on the Wednesday I got stuck in a storm just playing a solo, and this storm was absolutely epic. So I was bucketing water out underneath out of the boat. I ended up getting back to one of the ports that you can pull into, pulled into there, jumped out onto the weir, or what they call it, and a bolt of lightning hit it
Oh, nice.
just next to me, and threw me sort of off it into the water, and it was absolutely unbelievable. And the way that it all changed, so where this outpost was, it was in the shadow of a mountain. So when you walk, the rain was coming in one direction. You walk behind the mountain, and it's dry.
Oh, no, you're
There's no rain.
beautiful.
So cool.
Yeah, but then you sort of walk back out, and it's literally a line that's the shape of the mountain where you can actually see water belting down around you, and lightning and shit everywhere. And it was just absolutely brilliant to see something like that. And I think they're talking about bringing in, like tornadoes or hurricanes or stuff like that to actually try and break it up a bit more. Which it's got a lot of potential and a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
All right.
Dibs on firing myself into a tornado.
All right. Well,
Sharknado? Can we get Sharknado?
Yeah, Sharknado.
what we should do now is start looking at winding down because we're getting towards the end of the show and we still haven't mentioned the big prize giveaway, so I think we better do that now. All right. So, the big, massive prize giveaway for this awesome show. This has been an epic episode 200, mind you. I've had a really good time. This is great. What you need to do if you want to win is head across to the link that is in the description below. It's a Gleam link. Have you guys used Gleam before?
I have.
It's a website that basically puts all the names in a virtual hat and picks it out for you. But there are several different things that you can do to earn more entries. So what you need to do, and you don't have to do all of these, but I would recommend getting as many chances as possible. Follow AussieGamersTV on Twitch. Subscribe to the Age YouTube channel. Also subscribe to the Age News and Reviews YouTube channel. Follow Snoogavision on Twitch. Follow AussieGamers12 on Twitter. And follow Snoogs Gaming on Twitter. Okay, so all those will get you an entry. So if you only do one of them, you've only got one entry, one chance. You do all of them, you got, I don't know how many things there were. The major prizes are for Australian residents only. So my apologies to our overseas friends. And the entries will start from 7:30 p.m. on Saturday the 10th of February. And entries will close at 11:59 p.m. on the 28th of February 2018. Right, so what are the prizes? The big massive prizes that we've been leading up until now is, if you are the number one winner...
Drum roll, Greg.
Oh, yes, go. That's awesome.
That was it.
Number one winner will be drawn first, and the number one winner will receive a brand new 1 terabyte Xbox One S. What a great prize after I said it was shit in the podcast. Didn't think
Ignore
that one
everything
through.
that is really good. This is a great prize. Anyone would
It's
like
great.
It's fantastic
It's
if you
pretty
don't
awesome
pay
prize,
for
yeah.
it. If it's free, that's
Totally.
great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway.
So I would sit there and go, do I really want an S? Nah, it's all good.
Well, you take the brand new prize that you win from entering this, and you go and trade it up to an X. That's money in your pocket. Okay, so there is a number of runner-up prizes also, and the first runner-up prize, which is still a major prize, is a create-it-yourself, customised, modded controller from Relentless Controllers Australia.
That's
Whoa.
pretty bitchin'.
Nice.
So that's pretty bloody awesome. So what you'll do, if you are the winner of that, if you're the second person drawn out of the virtual hat, you get a code. You go across to relentlesscontrollersaustralia.com and you put in the code, or you build yourself a controller on there. It's PlayStation 4 controller, Snooks?
Yes.
Build
Yes,
yourself-
they're still working on the Xbox version of it, but
Yeah.
that could be pretty soon as well.
So you build yourself a PS4 DualShock 4 controller with mods, whether you want buttons on the back, whether you want different colours for the what do you call it, the shell, all that sort of stuff, pro triggers. You customise whatever you want, and it's all going to be free for you using the code that you get from winning this competition. Then there is another runner-up prize, which is a brand new copy of Prey for the PC, and Then the last prize will be a brand new copy of The Evil Within 2 for PC as well. And these are physical copies that we've got on hand to send out, which is why we're only limiting to Australian residents with Australian postal addresses. But how good is that? There's some sick prizes, man. Xbox
Agreed.
One S. What was that?
Agreed.
Yeah, Xbox One S, a modded controller, and two AAA games up for grabs there. So that's what you need to do. Links are in the description down below. Go to Gleam, log in with, probably you just use your Facebook account, and go through the list and make sure you get all of those entries by liking our social media bits and pieces. Your entries will be in. Once the competition is closed at the end of February, we'll announce the winners and we'll get the prizes out to you ASAP. How good is that? I think that's bigger than anything that we've ever done before.
Huge.
And I think pretty
Very,
fitting.
very fitting for episode 200.
Yeah. How many podcasts in the world have managed to get to 200 episodes? And
27.
Oh, well, there you go. Then if you go further and say how many in Australia have made it to 200 episodes, and how
26.
and how many independent podcasts have made it past 8? There's not very many. If you go, I've searched for podcasts from Australia for a long time, and there are a lot of them. But the thing is, you go and you have a look, and you see the last episode was published in 2012. You know, they've all died off. I don't
GFC
care.
was hard on independent
Yeah, that's right.
podcasts. You know, GFC hit them hard.
See, I think the secret to Aussie Gamers Express is I don't care how many people are listening. I enjoy doing this. I have fun doing it. So if I only get 10 people that listen to the show and they enjoy it, that's great. I'm doing it for them, and I'm doing it for me too because I'm enjoying it. And I'm guessing that's why you guys are here, because what else are you getting out of it than a bit of fun?
True.
I love it.
Do right.
Yeah. So,
During the week.
and I think that's why we've made it to 200 episodes, because it doesn't matter if we're not popular and we're not got hundreds and thousands of people listening. I don't care, because that's not why I do it. You know, I would like hundreds of thousands of people to listen, but
Hint, hint.
yeah, share.
So yeah, all the other 999,000 people listening, don't stay. We are just doing it for the first 10. It's all good.
Well, that's right. But yeah, look, and that's why I've kept going. I haven't given up. 'Cause, oh God, only 150, 200 people listened this week. That's great. I love because that's probably about the hits that we're getting, between 100 and 200 a week, right? I'm happy with that.
Unless
Yeah.
Gerald's involved.
I'd be happy for that to grow, which it is. It's slowly growing now that we're on Spotify and all that. It's all lifting up. But
One thing
very
I
happy.
love is just, you know, we're not just heard in Australia.
Yes.
We're heard in all
Yeah.
four corners. It's pretty cool when you see, you know, someone from, you know, the middle of Europe has listened to it and clicked on it, and that's absolutely brilliant.
I think it's weird that like there are people from Israel.
Yeah.
Do they even know? Like, I'm sure there are people in Israel that speak English, but I'm like, surely we're idiots to them.
Maybe that's why they listen. They're sitting and go, "Ha, listen to these idiots."
But yeah, there's people from really obscure countries too, the small countries, and you're like, oh wow, we're reaching to Uzbekistan or what's another small country? Canada. China. Yes. That's the effect I was going for.
Over Christmas, we had a few people from Thailand that have jumped on the page and
From where? Sorry.
from Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some different parts of Asia. From like you said, Israel. The guys in the US, a few people in the UK as well, and just different parts through Europe. It's actually pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And we're actually starting to get as well contact from companies around the world that want to show us, you know, what they're doing and bringing out the news that they've got. I get an email from people in Spain, which comes through in Spanish. I have to use Google Translate to translate.
I've got no idea what they're saying, but they're emailing me.
No, but they're emailing through, and it's like, "Hi Pat, I've listened to you, blah 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 blah. Here's some here's some info
Shoes
about
to
this."
look at. I don't think Google did it right this time.
Yeah, and it's mind blowing. Anytime something like that comes through, like the stuff that we get from Poland, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, so we're doing well. We're 200 episodes in. We're not going anywhere. We're still going, and we'll be kicking it in another 100 episodes. So awesome. And like we said earlier in the show, it was a really humbling and a really appreciated feeling getting those comments. When's the podcast coming back? Are you guys coming back? That's great. So the answer is yes. Here we are.
Ta-da.
All right. Well, let's wind down now and finish up the show. It's a bit over 2 hours into it, and I think that's our cue to chill out and go and play some games. Any last words?
I'm not sure if I'm playing games or jumping on Netflix tonight. Have you seen what they did today?
No.
Netflix, in the middle of the Super Bowl, announced a new movie that not a lot of people knew about that was coming to Netflix tonight. And I'm kind of intrigued, if not a little bit scared.
What is it?
Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, yeah, I heard them talking about that. People talking about that.
Cloverfield about, 10 years ago or so?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember it.
How could you forget?
How can you forget?
They've got a follow-up which kind of explains... Well, I hope it explains Cloverfield, because I still don't know.
Well, the original, the follow-up didn't explain it, so...
Yeah, that 10 Cloverfield Lane or something?
Yeah.
I never seen that. Is that worth watching?
It was better than Cloverfield, but
Didn't explain anything.
Didn't explain anything.
Yeah, so this one apparently ties it all together.
Mm.
Right. Do I have to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane first?
I don't know. I guess it's a Netflix film, so I dare say. I think it's more about the original. I think they're kind of thinking
ignoring the other one.
Actually, to be fair, 10 Cloverfield Lane is worth a watch.
It is.
It is worth a watch. It's a decent movie.
I can't say the same about Cloverfield, but
I've seen Cloverfield. I didn't mind it. I'll check it out.
It's all right.
All right. Well, let's finish up here. Next week we're going to go into an old but new style. We've got a few more things coming. Good old Greggio and Ramutha have put their thinking caps on and come up with a couple of cool things for us to add to the podcast, which will be finalised before next week. Next week's podcast, and we'll be back to our regular stuff. This is being a special for episode 200. So I can't wait for next week. Thank you very much to everybody that listened to us this week. Get your entries in ASAP. You've got to the end of February. Big prizes. You want to be in on that, and we would appreciate all of the traffic through to all our things as well. So, and share it all with your friends. Get them in on it too. But that's it for me. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I am Lucas.
I'm Ramutha.
I'm Greggio.
And I have been Snoogs.
See you later.
Yes.
Oi.
Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.